Interview with Uri, take one. Okay. So my name is Uraka Katoon Fitten. My dad is from Panama. My mom is from France. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. I was a baby when I moved to France. My mom was a social worker, so she moved mostly every 3 years. So I grew up in northern France, then near Paris, then near Lyon. As a teenager, I was near we were in the Alps, 20 minutes from the ski slopes. So I did a lot of sports, um, and I got into basketball. So at the end of high school, I was in the reserve team for basketball, and so for 3 years. Then I came back to the States. I went to photography school because I broke my ankle, so I had like surgery on two tendons. So even though I was semi-pro, like I didn't make it to like the professional level. And then I went back to France because the military service was mandatory. That didn't work for me because I wasn't into like military or anything like that. I was like very stuck to all the people that knew me back then. I was like very laid back and all about like peaceful stuff. So instead of doing 10 months, I only did 3 months. So I went back home. I was with my mom. I left when I was 17 to go do the basketball, then went to the United States. I was 23 and a drunk driver rear-ended me. So I got into that accident. I was 24 hours unconscious. I had 7 stitches here, 2 here. So I had 9 stitches. I don't know if you can see them. And from there, I went back to school to study photography in France. I worked for a newspaper. I worked for like a advertising. Like I was helping for an advertising photographer. I worked for a newspaper for 3-4 years, staying where my mom lived. On my dad's side, he had a hard time getting. He was into biology, and then he wanted to be a poet. He had like a hard time coming from Panama, and he made it all the way to college. Got like hired at MIT, but then he just wanted to be a poet, so he lived on his pension, and he was getting help. That's when I came back. I decided to come back to the United States. Like I got a little bit of money from the accident where I bought my first computer. It was running on PC DOS. That's when they switched to Windows. I worked in retail. I worked in hospitality. Then I went to California. Same thing. I worked in retail. I had to pay back my loan, my school loan from photography. I had a car that was repoed that I had to pay back. So now I decided to go in the military on my own. I was like 30 years old by that time. And that's when I needed discipline, so get all my stuff together and pay off all my debt. And I wasn't married, but by the time I was 30, I was tired of going from jobs to jobs, and so I went in the military for 21 and a half years. Yeah, so that was basically the rest of my life, the second part of my life. But that's all good. Having fun. The thing is, I was like part time. I went in the National Guards 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks, two weeks a year for training. Um, at the time, the 2 weeks they asked me if I wanted to go to Italy or Germany. So I went to Germany, and then that didn't pay off my loan or anything. So then I went active duty. I went in. That was my 2000 resolution. So by the time I went active duty, it was 2001, and then September 11th happened. The unit I was with in New York, they were in Europe, so they didn't get deployed. When they came back, we trained, and then we went to Afghanistan. I didn't have any major bad experiences. I can say like from other people and from stories you hear, you can say like I can say I didn't have like bad experiences. So I went to Afghanistan, and then 2003, 2004, came back, and that's when I came to Texas. I decided to stay. I stayed in. I paid off my school loan. I paid off my what was it? My car that was repossessed. And then I came to, I re-enlisted. I didn't know if it was going to be a good choice, but I think it turned out to be. I came to Texas, and I stayed in Texas all these years since 2005, 2006. It's now 2023, 24. Hi, Joseph.
Hey.
He's filming, so I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no. You
Okay.
guys are wrapping up right now?
No, I was showing him the tool that I just got, the rotary tool.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to show him like where we stock our stuff. Here, Joseph, you can help me carry this?
Yes, sir.
I can't remember what those are called.
Is that all?
Got this one. Maybe we can show him on this one. Yeah.
You just start from the top. And you just let gravity do the rest. Pretty much. Is it better there? Okay. And like I said, you just let gravity do the rest. You're trying to get beneath the bark.
Where the good stuff is. I don't see any insects on this one.
No.
I'm not proficient enough in meditation to say that it's like working meditation, but it's true that working like gets your mind away from all the day-to-day struggles. So you can look at it this way, and without being a workaholic, you can put your mind into something and try to get it to see the things positively, I guess, or more. So I guess you could say it's a working meditation.
What part?
All these, that's like the beetle.
Yeah, those are the little tunnels. It's on little burrowing.
It's like a design of its own. How does it like recognize once it's there? How does it recognize where it's going, or if it's just like digging and digging until there's nothing left to dig?
Where's their blueprints?
Yeah, where's the blueprint? Like, come check my tunnel. No, because what you're close to.
Uri is fantastic. We would not be able to do all the things that we do at the temple without his help. He's been just like such an asset. He's such a humble guy. He's very unassuming. But the truth is that he does so much stuff for the temple that we couldn't do without his help. Like for example, the fence project that he's working on right now is an incredible endeavor, and there is no way I can imagine the Venerables doing that by themselves. So without his help, we really wouldn't be able to create that fence for that back area. So.
I'm only signing up for Triple Gem, right?
Yeah.
I got let me start with at least the basics.
I didn't even know what the Triple Gem was.
It's gonna be B-roll unless you want to say a few nice things about Uri.
A few nice things about Uri?
Oh, well, he's a very kind man, and he knows a lot about Buddhism. He helps me a lot.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot. He teach me a lot to do the carving and stuff. And he's always smiling. Plus, he looks good.
That's the important thing.
Yeah. No, I know that he has like the little earring. I'm like, he actually looks like he pulls it off so well. I don't think I could do that.
I ended up taking both. And, well, listen to this way. I'm respecting the process.
Well, technically, like eating meat doesn't break the 5 precepts. It's just like you gotta bless the food and you gotta like respect it, because you gotta understand where the food comes from. And but I gave myself, because I wasn't vegetarian at all. I just like the idea of like uh, not benefiting the meat industry, because they're doing a lot of damage.
Uri?
Yeah.
Somehow I always think of his occupation, which is like beside the point, and his nationality.
Recording us.
Yeah. But I think of him as the French truck driver dude that comes to the Wednesday Dharma study class, and a lot of help around the temple, things that Venerable asked him to do that I get to miss because she's asking him to do it. And he plays in the band sometimes on the drums. He's either, I think he's getting married or just recently got married. So I look forward to his wife coming to the temple at some point soon.
Okay, so you asked me when did I start coming to the temple. That's probably because you want to know how I got into Buddhism. And so it comes way back to when I was in the Alps. It was a small town where a lady called Alexandra David Neal went to Tibet in the 50s. She was the first woman to be accepted in the Buddhist temples. So the Dalai Lama visited this town. It's a small town in France, but he visited because she was popular. And every year they have like the monks that come and they do like butter sculptures and mandalas and stuff like that. My dad gave me a book when I was 14, so I read this. I kept reading, traveling, walking into temples, monasteries, pagodas, reading the little books, the little pamphlets. So that was my spiritual quest, coming from a background of like Christianity, even maybe Catholicism. So how long ago did I start coming here? 2 years ago, actively. I used to walk in, like I walked in several times and just walked around the garden, thought it was nice. And Venerable Ruan was here. I was going to Florida, but Venerable Ruan was like giving me like fruits and stuff like that for the road. And so I was like, oh, great. And then she told me about like the Saturday service, but it was after COVID, so they were just starting again. So when I came back from Christmas from Florida, I went to one of the services on Saturdays and met people from the band, from the Lucky Dharma band, playing like congas and stuff like that. I'm not a big musician, but they were very welcoming, and that was like my community. I got into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, community stuff, took the triple gem, yeah. So how did I get into the Fence project? That's just talking to people and saying, this could be better, this could be improved. Noble Juji was had the task for volunteers on the weekend, and since I was telling her like this can be improved, and I knew where to get like the fence posts, and so she said, okay, well, let's do this, and then everybody started helping and debarking the posts, painting them. There was all kinds of projects. It's just that the fence picked up.
Uri is a great volunteer at the temple. I've seen him working outside in the yard with wood and with cement. He's very knowledgeable. He's been very patient because he's been waiting for his wife to come from Vietnam so they can share their lives together. So I can imagine how he feels, you know, and he actually shared a couple of pictures with me of how his wife and him were dressed. So it's fun talking with Uri.
Yeah. So since we're talking about her, I'm gonna go like this. That's how we are right now together. I just got married in December, and it's a lot of paperwork, even just to get the visa to go to Vietnam, because she's in Vietnam. and she can come here until she gets her visa. So Vietnam, even though they're opening to the world, they're still a very closed country. So it's not easy for them to come here as easy for us. But even for me to get the visa, I had to hire someone, and then to get her here. Now that we're married, we got married first, so it would be easier for her to get here. I'll feel better when she's here. It's something we've talked about for 2 years already, so we saw it coming, and she wasn't surprised when I bought the ring or anything. We went to buy the ring together, so she was surprised that it was like a boat on the river in Saigon in Ho Chi Minh City, but had a nice dinner. But I talk a little bit of Vietnamese. She talks a little bit of English, and we use a lot of Google and
You hold the phone closer to your face.
yeah. So we use a lot. I talk a little bit of yeah. No, you English, me Vietnamese. So I, I talk Vietnam, a little bit of Vietnamese. She talks a little bit of English, and then it's a lot of Google and messenger apps. Yes, English, English, English.
Yeah.
Okay.
English is
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, honey.
Well, we can't wait to have you here.
yeah.
How are you? Full plate with a curry. I love the curry.